How's everyone doing again today? Welcome back to yet another edition of Tuesdays with Tim. We'll be taking a look first and foremost at our bonus trade today on Tesla, which reports earnings after the bell. So basically taking a look at the chart, give you a quick rationale. I got Schwab came out today. You're talking about Tesla today with earnings. So here's absolute resistance, right? You don't even need to be a technical analyst at all to take a look at this chart and just say, yeah, that looks like resistance at 265, right? Certainly has failed on numerous occasions. We'll see if it provides resistance again. To the downside, though, somewhere right around that 225 level, right, which was this earnings gap back here, I kind of like to hang my hat on, given the fact that, Tesla has kind of improved a little bit. Certainly the energy side of things, the battery side, is actually picking up pretty decently. Stock is still not cheap, right? But given the rip-roaring rally, I think the upside is somewhat limited, but I think the downside may be as well. Options were pricing in over a 10% move, which allowed us to go out and basically sell an iron condor trade to profit from not as big a move as the market was pricing in. So I went out and said, hey, here's the trade I would do, send it out to you guys. Selling the 265, 267.5 call spread as part of the iron condor. Same time selling the 225, 222.5 put spread as part of the condor. Getting about $1.25. It's weakened a little bit here, right? But basically risking $1.25, right? Because you got $2.50 risk, but you're bringing in $1.25. So risking $1.25 to potentially make $1.25 if Tesla closes Friday between 265 and 225, a 40-point move, right? Basically right now equidistant, 20 points to the upside, 20 points to the downside. So you got about 8% for the stock can move before the spread gets in trouble. We shall see. Tesla in the past certainly has had big moves, but I think Tesla is starting to mature a little bit. So basically taking advantage of this huge implied volatility. You can see IV on the front week is 125 roughly, the back month somewhere in the mid 80s. So a huge spike here. And normally we like to look at calendars and so forth, but I'm really looking at I'm not sure which direction Tesla will really head here, but I don't think it's going to be all that big. So the iron condor made sense on that. Our only existing open trade as far as the iron contour, right? Palantir, which that stock has kind of gone nowhere as well. Went out to traditional, the October 32-34 call spread. So that one leveling off, that trade certainly so far so good, looking fine on Palantir. As far as our regular trades, our Apple out of the money call spread, right, that we put on with Apple towards all-time highs is certainly looking good. Apple has dropped dramatically, right? So we got plenty of cushion with our 260, 265 call spread on Apple. We'll see what happens. It did come all the way back to the 20-day moving average. Hasn't been below there, believe it or not, since all the way back in April. Certainly a long run on Apple as far as a move higher. And here was the reason why, right? Because everything got to extremes once again. Now kind of selling off maybe a little too hard. We shall see on that one. Mara, our other trade, the 29.32 call spread that expires a week from Friday, certainly looking good. Mara now at 21 and change. So right up here was the reason we hung our hat, right, on that 29 strike price to sell. Tried to break through there numerous times, failed each time. So we're not dead yet, but Mara, we may, if we can get it back for even a dime or something, I may look to take that one off as well. And then our final one, AAL, American Airlines, really just slowly descending, and we keep chopping wood. We'll continue to do that. So we are short now, the August 2nd those are the 11.5. We moved down a strike price, and if my mouse would work better, right? So we may look to, buy these back and then just keep reselling. And we may even move down to the $11 strike, so we have a traditional calendar. And at the end of the day, we're out to September on our longs. So we may end up with American going nowhere and actually going against us by continuing to just sell premium, may end up with a small winning trade. So, existing positions, Mara certainly looking good on the short call spread. Apple looking good. We'll find out about Tesla. We did have the Boeing one expire off. Microsoft is the ugly trade, right? That one. I butchered. I take full responsibility. The original call was spot on, but the hedge and then kind of rehedging the hedge and machinating around is where we got into problems on that. So with that said, let's see if we have any other questions out there to take a look at. And let's see, Colin says, hi, Tim. Hi, Colin. How are you? Hopefully we're, back in the swing of things here. And again, outside of Microsoft, which was, like I said, absolutely my blunder, right? We're faring pretty good here, and we'll look to take advantage. I love the fact that the VIX is right around 16 again. 12 was getting pretty cheap down there. Certainly above 20 gets to be a little rich. And you can also, take a look at that VIX chart, right? You can see the VIX did poke its head up towards 17 again and pulled back. So we'll see. But previous two spikes did mark market lows. We'll see if that's the case this time. Valuations, as we've talked about, are stretched beyond belief. S&P 500 was trading at almost 3 times price to sales, highest level basically ever, briefly traded up there in December of 2021, right before the big pullback, right? You look at Apple at 9 times price to sales, Microsoft 14 times, NVIDIA we won't even get into. And that's with interest rates heading appreciably higher. So I think this market seasonality, August, September, over the past 15 years, I like to use kind of post-financial crisis, are the only 2 down months on average for the S&P 500. And they've been up less than half of the time. So seasonality, a little bit of a headwind as well. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Tesla. And the other nice thing about Tesla with that trade, right, is we can, in essence, if need be, move our short call spread down if the stock drops, right, to pick up more premium, sell a lower call spread strike price, bring in even more premium, or say Tesla rallies, move our strike price up. So with that said, let's see if we have any other questions out there. Don't see anything out there. So have a good rest of the trading week, everyone. Things looking okay so far. Look for more new trades this week. And I think the fact that we're kind of have seen the end of this, I don't want to call it ridiculously red hot rally because the market's the market, but the end of the rally, at least for the time being, we're seeing the Russell vastly outperform the NASDAQ 100 finally, right? AI may have finally given up the ghost, at least for a little bit of a while. So I think things returning a little bit more towards normal, which I think will favor our strategy. So until next time, have a good rest of the trading week, everyone. And as always, here's the good trading. Take care.